What's up, cats and kittens? It's time for your favorite game show. And by game show, I mean video game podcast. Welcome to Respawn Namefire, the kick-ass irreverent gaming podcast. I'm one of your hosts, Chad Michael. If my sperm talked, it would be Cillian Murphy's voice. Innes, Adam. Welcome to the show, Adam. Who would your sperm's voice be if it was narrated in Look Who's Talking to Gumbert?
I mean, I wanted to go with Danny DeVito. Let me get that egg. But it doesn't make sense because I sound or look nothing like Danny DeVito. So, give me Conan O'Brien's voice.
Conan O'Brien. Love it.
He could do good.
Oh, welcome, folks, to our show. We've got some good news, some bad news, some fun things that we've done, some good games we're going to play, etc., etc., etc. today. But first, we'll go through our rigmarole live on twitch.tv/respawnnameFire is us on Monday evenings around 8:30 p.m. Eastern Time. You can be hanging out in the chat just like Matt from RI is, who is feeding his month-old baby, thinking about how he'll never experience the thrill of the Leviathan raid. Rip Destiny 2. You can also catch us on demand on YouTube and podcast services on Wednesday mornings at 9 a.m. Eastern Time. We've also got some things to... I don't want to say the word housekeeping because I know that you're just going to go, housekeeping?
I haven't done anything. I don't know what you mean.
We got some housekeeping. Oh, Matt says, where's Joel? Joel's dead. Joel died of Begonia, that movie that came out last year where Emma Stone, Jesse Plemons thinks that Emma Stone is an alien. He died of Begonia. Same disease. It is Joel's birthday week. And apparently that means he's skirting all responsibilities for the entire week and not just his birthday tomorrow, June 16th. But if you communicate with Joel on any platforms, even like, I don't know what he has, Twitter, Instagram, I'm sure he has all of it. Go tweet or message him happy birthday and then tell him who your sperm's voice would be. And so that's our little rigmarole there about Joel. You can go to patreon.com/respawnAimFire, where you can do a couple of things. First, you get to vote on barf games. That's our backlog accomplishment with Respawn and Friends. We put up a poll every month where we ask you, what would you like us to play this month? We give you some options. You tell us which one. This month, we are playing the multiplayer of Halo Infinite. Joel, for his birthday again, fucking gets his way. The whole month, I guess, is his birthday month. Wanted to go and have an excuse to come back to one of his many live service games that he enjoys that he never gets to play. So this is his excuse to play Halo Infinite multiplayer, which, remember, does not require Xbox Game Pass or Xbox Live, which is dead, because it's free to play. And the multiplayer part of Halo Infinite is also free to play. So completely free. Go play that. Come on the show later this month if you're interested and want to talk about your experience. We will definitely be talking about that. And then you also have early access to a Patreon exclusive for a month-ish episode of our show. This month, we have After Dark, and it is a special episode about how to get involved selling Pokemon cards at card shows. Pretty interesting. I learned a lot. And I actually attended a card show this past weekend now because I didn't sell anything. But I did go to one in San Jose with a couple friends, and it was a fun time. So go listen to that if you're a Patreon supporter. If you're not, and you hate us, then you can get last month's episode out now everywhere for free, which was something I don't remember because it's not as cool as the paid content. That's it. We're going to jump into our main quest today where we talk about turmoil for Xbox Studios. This comes from Andy Robinson from VGC. Hold on. Before we get to this, Matt says my sperm's voice would be Martin Short as Jiminy Glick. Out of nowhere, yesterday in my YouTube algorithm, it suggested to me like 15 Jiminy Glick videos. And so I watched one with him interviewing Julia Louis-Dreyfus, and it was pretty funny. But these videos are like 10 years old. 15 years
Longer
old.
than that, right?
And, yeah, you're right. And it's like, how the fuck is Jiminy Glick coming back now into just like pop culture? What the fuck? How is this all returning at once? So anyway, yeah. So let's get back to shitty stuff from Microsoft. Multiple Xbox studios are right now in negotiations to go independent in an attempt to avoid closure, sources say. That's according to Bloomberg, which first reported the news and corroborated by VGC's own sources, who indicated that Compulsion Games, who are the creators of things like South of Midnight and We Happy Few, Double Fine, creators of fabulous adventure games like, I can't remember any of them off the top of my head right now. Keeper was a good one they just came out with. Broken Age, yep. And Ninja Theory, creators of Hellblade and the upcoming game Senua. These three studios are among those in active negotiations to spin off from Xbox. By the time you're listening to this on Wednesday morning, all of this will probably be sorted out, and all of them will either be closed, dead, burned alive, or have some wonderful we're going independent news or bought by somebody else. But we'll talk about that today as if it's still an undergoing investigation. Cambridge, England-based Ninja Theory from Hellblade announced a new game, Cinema, just last week at Xbox Games Showcase. Both Compulsion, South of Midnight, and Double Fine from Kiln have released games in the last year. All three studios are known for creating award-winning original games, but not necessarily commercial hits. Asha Sharma, the new CEO of Xbox, sent a surprisingly candid note to staff last week in which she shared, quote, realities that we need to navigate, claiming that Xbox's annual net revenue has declined to nearly $500 million in 5 years, the hardware costs up to 4x, and its studio system overextended. Woo! This is incredibly unfortunate, as we noted in here, well, as they noted that we are reading. All of these studios are fantastic. They create award-winning games. They've won BAFTAs. They've won Game Awards. They've won all sorts of amazing things. And Xbox has even bragged about them as like this is a strong showing from these teams. We're so happy about their award and not too long ago. And now they are in talks to shut them down or spin them off, or who knows what's happening next with these studios, which fucking sucks, because I feel like this is going to lead to even more Call of Duty churning machines, if not just like complete dissolution of Xbox. Adam, what are your thoughts on this?
Yeah, like you said, tough stuff. My hope is that they all get to do the independent, bought up by someone else thing. But even that, in the year of our Lord 2026, is rough, because you look at Tango, right? Which was one of the last round of layoffs that got bought by Kraft. And you're like, okay, cool, they're still there. They're still going to make games. And then Krafton's like, oh, we're going to do anything we can to not pay people the money that we owe them. So It's like, even if you go away from Microsoft and go under someone else, it could still be a shit show. So you just hope that, like, I don't know, there's enough money or something out there. I don't think everyone makes it, obviously. But you hope as many of them can as possible. And I selfishly would say Double Fine, being such a storage studio, you would hope would find a way to make it work, independent or otherwise. But yeah, I mean, it sucks. This is what we do. Again, there are other stories, that by the time you hear this, between these studios, maybe other studios, other people outside of Xbox, a lot of bad stuff looks like about to happen, I guess, because it's the end of a financial quarter, maybe. But yeah, no, it's not good. We'll see what happens. Again, the problem is, like, where do you go, though? Like, it's the idea of, like, oh, we're independent now, okay, and then I'm just gonna say it because we don't have it written down, but, like, allegedly Don't Nod has, like, enough funding for 2 more months, and Tencent's like, we're not giving you any more money. So it's like, Don't Nod, the people who made Life is Strange, are like, could potentially also be out of business. So you go independent, and then what happens? It just seems like something happened, and then, like, the economy got really bad, and now just, like, technology and gaming just doesn't make money, and they're investing heavily in some other maybe computer-aided technologies that don't seem to make any money or work out. I don't understand what is going on lately, Chad, but I'm excited for that those motorcycles in front of the White House this weekend. That'll be fun. That'll be fun.
There are some success stories that for now are successful, of studios who gained their autonomy and continued to thrive. One of them comes to mind is IO Interactive, who just published. Actually, I don't know. Did they I think they self-published.
They did self-publish that one.
007 First Light. And they basically, they broke away from Square Enix, and Square Enix even gave them the Hitman license and for free. And it's like, cool, bye. And they've had a really successful several years since that happened. And then I think about Toys for Bob, which was part of one of the many acquisitions. I think it was maybe Activision for Microsoft. and
Yeah, they were
they were
Activision.
going to become a Call of Duty farm studio, and they said, we don't like that. Can we spin off and just like be our own independent thing and maybe work with you guys on the side? And now they're doing the new Spyro game that just got announced last week. So there are a couple of stories that are success stories of these types of teams who were able to spin off of these larger companies and make something amazing and stay afloat. But like you said, where are you going to go from here? Like the industry right now cannot support all of these people and all of these companies and all of these properties because of a bajillion decisions that have been made in the last 6 years. But it fucking sucks.
It is tough, especially like, I mean, for me specifically, Compulsion. I liked We Happy Few. South of Midnight is a really cool and really unique game that I liked a lot. I like the art style, and the whole being in the South is a fun thing, obviously being for someone from the South. But like, yeah, I like that game. Who's going to pick up that studio, right? Like, you have to try to like hope you have enough money to go to independent, which you probably don't, which means that, I don't know, maybe we can stay stay alive if like we lay off like 70% of the people and try to restart as an indie studio, which I guess is better than nothing, but it's still not what you would want after coming off of putting out a game that, won. I forgot what that one won. I think it was a Peabody Award or something. Yeah. So like, I mean, it sucks. You hope people can figure it out, because it's not easy to figure things out.
That's also like the shitty thing right now is like, if they don't make it independent, and we can sit here and dream, oh man, who should buy them? But the reality is no one's got the fucking money to buy them. I mean, if you look, Sony is laying off and making changes and shuttering studios left and right. Like, if you're able to, you might get picked up by Krafton, you might get picked up by Embracer, and those are not necessarily right now the best places to be.
I was about to make a joke about Embracer. He was like, I don't think they acquire anyone anymore. I think they're out of it, basically. Yeah.
It sucks.
Which is rough. So yeah, I mean,
rough place for anyone who wants to be a professional in the gaming industry right now. Like, I used to think about like people who want to be famous, like movie stars and musicians and things like that. I was like, that is a lofty goal, and that is something you have to work day and night, and it's like exhausting and all that. Now I'm thinking, for something that should be stable and something that should be like a cool 9 to 5 with something that you like doing as video game development, I didn't think that this was going to be as rough an industry as the entertainment industry is, which is wild.
Yeah. And I did make the joke about Trump earlier. I mean, obviously the tariffs and stuff sucks for our personal economy, but it's just tech in general, because everybody in tech, big and small, was like, this AI thing is going to be great. Because I look down here at the last quote, annual revenue has been declined nearly $500 million in 5 years, with hardware cost up 4 times. Which is like, yeah, that's the thing, is like, people have been talking about recently, like what the next gen stuff is going to be. And it's just like, you hope to God that something happens. I'm assuming an AI crash. I don't think that's really going to happen, honestly, but something that happens so that just like basic electronic prices can get down, because we're talking about like, oh, these studios, what they're going to make in next gen and stuff. And it's like, if this tech stuff doesn't change in like 2 or 3 years, no one's got money for a $1,500,
no,
$1,000. I would not buy $1,000 console, period. And that's not even that more expensive than they are now. But I would straight up just not do it. I would refuse to do it, and I would stay on the older thing, or do what I do now and just go 99% PC, just because that's the easiest way. So like, it's all pretty fucked, and you just hope that something changes. I don't know I guess I need AI to die sooner. I need these data centers to close so I can go steal some fucking RAM from these empty data centers. That would be great. But yeah, until then, it's just like this. The whole industry is going to be fucked, because the money's hard to come by, because of tech companies' their own doing, because they thought they could make money off of it. So everyone else has to suffer while they try to figure out how to come back from that. So fun for all of us. Yep. PS6, $1,200. Yum, yum, yum. Put it in my tummy. Like, what are we doing here? I don't know, man.
I can't remember when this happened, whether it's last week or the week before or something like that, but somebody was talking as a spokesperson for Xbox, and they were talking about how they need to re-evaluate their entire console strategy, and specifically talking about Project Helix, which is their Xbox PC hybrid that they had talked about shipping dev kits for in early 2027. But what the quote that I was reading, I'm going to hopefully get most of it right, is that they are now completely reconsidering what their whole strategy will be with that, and they're likely not going to be shipping something as soon as they thought they were, and this whole thing might take 2 to 2.5 years longer to resolve or figure out than they anticipated. So yeah, that puts them at 2029 as releasing the next console generation, which things can either get better or they can get 20 times worse.
Yeah, we're just hoping that it gets better. We're hoping that giving it 2 years means that the prices come down compared to be like, oh, well, we thought it was going to be $1,000, but now looking at the market, it's going to be $1,800 for a console, which means basically no one's going to sell any consoles, period. So why even bother making consoles anymore?
Yep.
And then we're going to have to wait 10 years, and then they're going to make a fucking robot that's secretly a console and try to sell you Rob the Robot too, and then we're going to have to... No. I mean, it does feel very much like another gaming crash, is what a lot of people have been talking about. And it's like, I wasn't alive or conscious for the first one, but based on what we're seeing now, it does seem like it. Where it was like, oh, no one's making money in games anymore. You have to sell more copies than there are consoles out there to make money. It's like, yeah, that seems like a bad idea. But then all this is said, where's it going to happen? GTA 6 is going to come out, be the biggest deal in the world. And then a lot of people will be like, people who aren't 2K, who aren't the ones making the money, be like, oh, yeah, look, it's easy. Just do that.
Yeah. And it's next gen exclusive, isn't it?
Yeah, it's not PS4, Xbox One. So
this is going to be the make or break. Are people en masse willing to pay, $700, $800, $900 for a next gen console to play GTA 6, or is GTA 6 not even enough to weather this hardware problem that we've got?
It could just sell the amount of consoles we have out now, maybe sell a couple million more, but I mean, the game still will be fine. But I don't know if consoles were $500 still, that would be a big boost all around. It will probably be a boost, but not as big because everything is expensive.
Yep.
It's just how it goes.
Well, let's jump into something hopefully a little bit lighter of a topic, something maybe a little bit more fun. Playtime. We're talking about what we played this week. Playtime. Adam, you've got 2 things on here. Tell me about JW and S&M.
Yeah, I got into S&M lately. Nice. I met a Mistress Velvet. She's a very nice lady, and she... when I say German words wrong, she whips me on my fingertips with a ruler.
Love it. Love it.
No, I'm just kidding. That is all for... Speaking about Conan O'Brien, I watched his old travel show from back when he was on TBS, because all that's on HBO Max. And he did go to a dungeon and when he was visiting Berlin and got beat up by an S&M mistress or whatever. It was a pretty funny bit. But no, what I really did... not played too much. I'm waiting for games for review to come through. I played and finished the campaign for Jurassic World Evolution 3.
Whoa.
Which is the park builder game where you think of Roller Coaster Tycoon or whatever Tycoon games, except for it's Jurassic Park, or I guess Jurassic World now, technically. Where you just they give you a bunch of scenarios, and you have to start from scratch and build around the scenario. That's the campaign anyways. There's sandbox mode and stuff, but that was fun to go through and finish all that stuff. And because the DLC comes out for that tomorrow as we're recording, Tuesday if you're listening to the podcast, for the latest. Here's the problem. I genuinely enjoy every Jurassic Park, every Jurassic World movie, even though most of them are bad, just because dinosaurs running around doing shit is fun to watch. I don't know what to tell you. But the one with Scarlett Johansson, good God, I cannot know the name. I do not remember the name of it for the life of me. What is the name with Scarlett Johansson? What is the name of that?
The last one I watched was, I think, the second Jurassic World movie, which was Dominion. Does that sound right?
That's the problem. I don't remember the name of 2, 3, and 4 of Jurassic World.
The Jurassic Worlds, there was Fallen Kingdom.
There's a Dominion, there's a Fallen Kingdom, and there's a Rebirth, but I don't know which is which.
Rebirth. I did not watch Rebirth. I think Rebirth is the most recent one.
Okay. So the newest
DLC
is
not Scarlett Johansson, right? Because Scarlett Johansson and Chris Pratt were in the...
No. See, this is the problem. Jurassic World 1, 2, and 3 are Chris Pratt and Bryce Dallas Howard.
Wait, there are 4 Jurassic World movies?
Jurassic World 4, a.k.a. Rebirth, is Scarlett Johansson and Mahershala Ali.
That's right. The first movie was just called Jurassic World, right? It wasn't Fallen Kingdom.
Yeah, just Jurassic World, no subtitle. Yeah. But anyways, so the one with Mahershala Ali and Scarlett Johansson, Rebirth, that is getting DLC tomorrow. So I want to finish all the games so I can go see what that's about. Just because, again, that movie is ridiculous. It's just basically the plot of Jurassic World Rebirth is okay, Chris Pratt and Bryce Dallas Howard are gone. We're going to an island. There are dinosaurs. But there are mutant dinosaurs now. And they're like, we need blood samples from 3 of the biggest dinosaurs on the planet. So the whole thing is a quest to go to the 3 big monsters and collect things from the 3. It's like a fucking video game plot. So I'm very excited to build a park around that idea. That sounds cool to me. So yeah, that game's fun. I played it. Jeff Goldblum was there. We had a good time. And the last thing I did, S&M, again, I did not visit Miss Velvet in Berlin, Germany. It is, in fact, Story Motors, which is a podcast that Mr. Hawks does. We are recording an episode on Tuesday night, doing a spoiler cast for 007 First Light. So if you're listening to the podcast version, I think those podcasts come out on Thursday. So just check out Story Motors. Mr. Hawks does good stuff over there, but I will be on that. I think it's me and Neo Aoshi are going to be on there to talk about spoilers for 007 First Light. So that will be out momentarily. So we'll have a good time with that.
I can already see 007 First Light being like my end of the year barf consider for game of the year thing, where it's like, I'm interested in playing it. I think I'll like it, but I need the extra push.
Yes, I think you would enjoy it if you actually played the game. Yeah. So hopefully we can get that on the poll. But yeah, that's it. Jurassic World, Story Motors, not Story Modders. Story Motors. Yep, that's the 2 things to check out. Chad, what about you? You've got all kinds of silly words over here.
Yeah, I've got Pixie, Soxy, and Dexy on the list. Pixie is Pokemon X and Y. I'm playing Pokemon X on my Nintendo 3DS, which is after the Ocarina of Time remake. Spoilers for our next quest log. After the Ocarina of Time remake got announced, I was like, I want to get my 3DS out. I have my Majora's Mask version of it. I was like, oh, maybe I'll play Ocarina of Time on this thing just to remind myself. But then I'm like, I don't want to burn myself out on it before it comes out, because we don't know when it's coming, but it could be as early as tomorrow. It could be as late as December 30th. Who knows? But instead, I recently purchased a Pokemon X cartridge, and so I've been playing that. And one thing that fucking sucks about handheld consumer electronics is that their batteries go. And when their batteries go, basically the handheld is not really that... it doesn't become... It's no longer a handheld, and it is something that you have to sit there and babysit at the charger on the wall. So it loses all of its
you can replace those batteries, though.
I did, so I just ordered a battery. It showed up today. I just replaced it. The battery I ordered came with literally 11 tiny screwdrivers. You only need one Phillips head, and it came with 11 screwdrivers of various sizes and shapes.
Just in case.
Just in case. So yeah, I just replaced that battery. I was playing it. The reason I needed to do it the other day, the way that the 3DS battery works is you play a game. After the battery gets to a certain point, you get a notification. The red light starts flashing. And then after that, you've usually got, like, depending on what you're doing, half hour to an hour. I was playing Pokemon X yesterday, and in the middle of a fight, a battle, against one Pokemon, the red flashing light came on and started flashing at me. And I was like, oh shit, okay, I gotta go plug this in. As soon as the battle ended, like, the flashing light went straight from flashing in my face, and then it probably didn't even complete the number of flashes, and it died. The entire handheld died. Wiped like an hour of progress that I had made in Pokemon X. I was like, fuck, okay, I need to get a new battery. And of course, I opened it up, and the battery had swollen a little bit too, so I was like, it's a good thing that I'm getting rid of this thing. Yeah, Pokemon X. Yeah.
Do those games not have a remake?
Pokemon X and Y do not.
Okay.
Pokemon Pizza, Pokemon Legends ZA that came out last year was like a sequel to those.
But
I've not played X and Y yet. So there was supposed to be a Pokemon Z. There's all sorts of evidence that Pokemon Z was being made a long time ago that would feature Zygarde, but it never ended up getting made.
Is that the one with Black Charizard? X and Y?
Yes, actually. Yeah, because that's Mega Charizard X, which is he's black, canonically. Next is Soxy, sticking on the Nintendo train. I played Star Fox, the new Star Fox game, part of the Nintendo Direct. They announced a demo for the first level is available now. And
so half the game?
Exactly, right? That game is 45 minutes long total. Yeah, I played the demo. It is beautiful. Like, this game is gorgeous. I was playing it handheld. I didn't play it on the TV, but I was playing it handheld. The graphics look amazing. The cutscenes are so good. The the realistic fur on Fox, controversial opinion, not that bad, actually. It looks bad in screenshots, especially at the angle that his face is shown in the cockpit. But in a lot of the cutscenes, they're just like on a spaceship together on Corneria, and they're just, I think Corneria is the ship, right? Or maybe Corneria. Yeah, I think that's the ship. And yeah, they're just like hanging out on there around a table, and he's up and walking and all. And it was like, oh shit, yeah, this doesn't look anywhere near as bad as I expected it to look. So while yes, the Star Fox art direction from the Galaxy movie would have been a better look for him, this one actually doesn't bother me. But the game itself,
My only issue was face on, because he looks like he has a flat fucking face.
Yeah.
Everything else
especially
is
because you don't get the depth of his nose. You just like get this weird, like tiny little mouth snout speaking whenever you're looking head on, which is, I guess, I don't think any of that showed up in the demo and the first cutscenes where you actually see him in the cockpit head on like that. You definitely see Pepe and Falco like that. Actually, no, they're all kind of 45 degrees as well. So
that's the better way to do it. If he has a flat fucking face, put him to the side profile.
Anyway, the game's fun.
Else?
It plays
Did you like
great.
Slippy? Do you like that fucking frog?
I didn't love Slippy in the original Star Fox 64, but he was in the demo very sparingly. Yeah. In fact,
There's new stuff, right? But I'm assuming the demo isn't the new content.
There is quote-unquote new stuff, but it's technically stuff that I guess was from Star Fox... Not Star Fox Zero. Another Star Fox remake that was like retelling the same story. Star Fox Adventures? I don't know. Something like that. But it's like...
Stuff with his dad, right?
Yeah. And it's prequel content, which you get the cutscene. It's like a 5-minute cutscene whenever you first start up the demo. So this is just like a different way of telling that story that was already added to another version of the remake of this game. But yeah, it's fun. Plays really well. Controls well. I didn't get to try mouse controls, but it did encourage me to take, because I was playing handheld, but it did encourage me. It was like, hey, do you want to try out mouse controls right now? I was like, nah, better not. But yeah, to be honest, I won't buy the game. But if it goes on sale for like, I don't know, $20.
Come on, Chad.
But it's $50 full price right now. But you know, I've said this a bajillion times. Space flight games, especially dogfights, are not the best gameplay. In fact, all dogfights in every space game is terrible. And yes, there was one open zone dogfight area of the demo as well, and it was like, nope, this is still bad. That's it. Star Fox. And then the last one here is Dexy. The end of Destiny 2 has come. And there was a final update last week on June 9th that cements the sandbox as it is right now. So the meta now is the meta forever. They've also allowed you to take any artifact that they've offered of the last 7 seasons, so 7 artifacts, and you can customize and use any of those. Usually it's only the season that they're there that you have them, and they add all sorts of new perks and ways to make certain weapons OP or certain builds OP. So to be able to have access to all of those unlocks a lot of variety that you can play around with build-wise for the remainder of however long they keep the servers on. But yeah, it feels great to jump back in. All the kids are doing it. I've played with every one of our original raid crew in some capacity in the last week. So we're doing we just finished the Equilibrium dungeon last night for Matt, which is a Star Wars dungeon. Joel jumped in there with us to beat the Palpatine mommy at the end. Matt's unfortunately too late to get the pin. He has like all the dungeon pins. The part of the Destiny Bungie rewards is you complete something in the game, you get the opportunity to buy exclusive merch for people who have done those feats. And he has all the dungeons except for Equilibrium. And the last day to buy the Equilibrium pin was May 31st, I believe. And so he's got to scour eBay for somebody who has one. So yeah, we played the dungeon. Sparrow racing is back, which is something that was in Destiny 1, and I think had a brief stint in Destiny 2 as part of an event, but it is now back permanently, and I've played probably about 3 hours of Sparrow racing. It is so much fun. Matt was talking about how if this had been out at the same time as Mario Kart World, he would have played this instead of Mario Kart World. So speaks very highly of it. And yeah, we are looking forward to eventually getting all of us together at the same time to do the new Pantheon. Pantheon? Yeah. Pantheon is what it's called.
Pantheon.
Panties on. Everyone keep your panties on. Which is the new, like, here's a bunch of raid bosses from over the years with new mechanics, and it's a super tough version of them, and like only the best of the best can do it. And this is where we almost killed ourselves a couple years ago doing the original Pantheon. But this one introduces a new like easy mode, like an adventure mode, where you can go in and just kind of experience the mechanics without having to actually have all the tough stuff. So you can learn it before you go do the actual hard version. And a lot of Leviathan raid bosses are back. So we've got reworked mechanics for all of those, which seems fun. And I guess Pantheon's back for good, forever. And yeah, looking forward to playing more Destiny 2. I'm interested to see the tail on this with our friend group. Right now, we're back in the text group, and Audrey texted today, hey, when's everyone free this week so we can maybe raid? And I was like, oh, look at that. Look at that. I didn't even have to start the conversation. But loving it.
Is all that stuff still on sale? Because I saw...
It is on sale. I don't know how much longer.
Deep discount the other day.
Yeah. I don't remember how much longer it is on sale. But yeah, it's on sale for like $50 or $25 for the entirety of all Destiny content ever. So, and that's on pretty much every platform as well. So go check that out. Steam, PlayStation, who knows if any of that matters, or if they're just going to funnel all that money into actually making a Destiny 3, or all that money goes into just more marathon that the Destiny audience clearly has voiced their opinion that we don't want.
I know I saw, it was like every expansion on Steam, if you had nothing at all, was like $20 total if you didn't have jack shit. And I was like, ooh, it's not bad. But then it's like, how long are the servers going to stay on? That's the question.
I mean, Destiny 1 servers are still up, and that game hasn't been
well,
live.
Maybe it's worth it then.
Yeah. That game got end of life, 7-8 years ago? That's it. That's what we played this week.
Dope.
Moving on to our quest log. We've got one more story in our quest log. This is Nintendo Direct time from Chris Scullion at VGC. So yes, Nintendo did have a Direct last week as well. Infamously fucked me out of a point. Thank you, Nintendo, for being 2 hours late as of the latest.
2 hours late was stretching it too. That was giving you
that's
the
if you
most...
go by the latest time zone ever on Earth.
Yeah.
It was 2 hours late from getting me a full point. But they had a Direct. I'll be honest, most of it was a snooze fest. So we're not going to talk about most of it, but we do have a couple of things in here that we will mention that are interesting that we might want to chat about. First is Orbitals, the co-op adventure game set.
Chad.
Yeah.
Did you watch it, like the whole thing live or whatever?
I didn't watch it live, but I did watch. Oh no, I did watch it live. Yeah.
I was shocked because again, I only looked at. I don't watch Nintendo Directs, so it doesn't matter to me. But normally, when you look at a rundown and like a list of what was there, I'm like, this had to have been really good, and then everyone was like, it was fucking boring. What happened? Was it just the presentation was bad, or like what was the deal?
It wasn't paced well. Also, the majority of the announcements were either things that we already knew, or it's like, remember this game from 4 years ago? It's coming to Nintendo Switch 2 now with a Nintendo Switch 2 edition. And so it's like not a lot of exciting new announcements. There were a couple of things that were like like Rhythm Heaven, whatever the subtitle is on that game, looks like it's a fun kind of party game. That's coming out in a few weeks. Pikuniku, no. Yeah, Pikuniku like had like a new game that was announced. It was like, that looks fun if it's, I hesitate to say Game Pass, but like if it's something that's able to be had for cheap or is something like that. But yeah, most of it was a snooze fest, but there were a few announcements worth sticking around for. First was Orbitals, the co-op adventure game set in a retro anime-inspired universe, received a release date. The game will be released exclusively on Switch 2 on September 3rd. The next gaming Armageddon, where everything comes out on the same month.
September.
And we need Bruce Willis to save us.
Bruce Willis specifically. Yeah, that one looks really cool, a little snazzy, kind of It Takes Two, but yeah, anime, and kind of inspired thing. I will hope it comes to PC one day. That'd be fun to play, because I would actually enjoy playing this game, because it looks really cool and snazzy.
Oh, I didn't realize this was, when it says exclusive on Switch 2, I always assumed that that's like console exclusive.
Yeah, I don't know if it's a permanent exclusive or anything, but for the time being, Switch 2 is the only way you can play it. So I will be interested to see if that comes other places, because then I will definitely pick it up.
We also got a new trailer for Fire Emblem Fortune's Weave, along with confirmation of the game's release date. This will be coming to Switch 2 on September 17th, 2 weeks later. Are you you're a strategy boy. Are you a Fire Emblem fan?
Yeah. This was, I would say, on a personal level, this is like one of the only things that I really care about, because I fucking love Fire Emblem. I mean, especially Three Houses is the one that all the new age fans got into, and this one is like, okay, we did the one where you put on the ring and summon them, and people didn't like that one as much, so we're gonna go back to doing what you guys like. So I think, I don't know if it's our Fantasy Critic or another one, but I think this was like a first or second round draft pick for me. I'm like, this game's gonna come out, it's gonna be like an 89, and people are gonna be into it, so I'm very excited for that. Again, September release date, whatever, guys, we're doing whatever we can do, but that game will be good. I do foresee that future. So that's one that I'm going to be upset that I'm going to miss out on.
Yeah, does any of this entice you? I loved how much like Switch 2 exclusive stuff. Does any of this entice you to buy a Nintendo Switch since it's only $50 marked up now before it goes $300 marked up?
No. God, I would say it would be, so it was really good like back in the day when, I remember the PS3. I didn't get a PS3 until me and like everyone else got a PS3 near the end of the life cycle, because they were so cheap.
Yeah.
And you had a bunch of stuff to go back to. So like when I look at it now, even yes, there are games that I'm interested in, but I'm not spending $500 for the chance to spend $70 one time a year on a video game. Because like, as far as like Nintendo goes, like last year it would have been Mario Kart. People were like, it's fine, and that would have been it. I didn't care about Kirby Air Ride. I didn't care about Metroid. Like, I just don't care about most of the things that come out. So even with this, like, oh yes, I would love to play Fire Emblem. Would I spend $570 to play Fire Emblem? No, I would not. That's basically how I do the math. But again, if it was like back in the day and the Switch 2 got cheaper near the end of its life cycle, and I had a bunch of fun games, I had 10 games I wanted to go back and play, then I would do it. But at the moment, it's just not. And also because, you know, there might be other ways to be able to play Switch games. Allegedly, I think I saw a YouTube video next to a Jiminy Glick video. I saw something about that. So that's, I will wait to see if that happens. But I am interested in a lot of Switch 2 games. I just, that price is just, I can't, you know, rationalize that in my brain.
Yep. Are you still there, Adam? Can you hear me?
Yeah, I'm here. Can I hear you the whole time?
Disappeared. Okay, there we go. Yeah.
Am I cool? I've heard you the whole time. No problems.
Yeah. Next up, Final Fantasy Resonance is coming to Switch and Switch 2 on October 22nd. This is one that I am like, I've got earmarked. I'm watching this one, see what people are saying about it. This is the first HD 2D Final Fantasy game, which is that, you know, art style that was made popular by Octopath Traveler, and a bunch of games have been made in it now. But Final Fantasy Resonance is a reimagining of a mobile game called Final Fantasy Brave Exodus, I believe, Exvius, something like that, which was a gacha game, which had a bunch of like mobile bullshit mechanics, which apparently they are redesigning the game to be like get rid of a lot of that shit and make it more of a console-like experience. So I don't know how much I trust that it's not going to have all those gacha mechanics, or that it's going to be like something worth playing. So this is one that I've got my eye on, that I'm just like waiting it out and seeing what happens with it.
Yeah, I wouldn't have trusted it either, because like that's why I you know, earmarked this one, because I love the HD 2D art style a lot. It'd even get me to play a Final Fantasy game, because I normally don't care. But the idea of taking a mobile game and making it HD 2D and switching it over, I'm with you, wouldn't trust it, except for Octopath Traveler 0 came out last year, also Square Enix, and it was the same thing where it was a mobile game and they reworked it and made it a quote-unquote real game, and everyone who played it fucking loved that game. So they've earned my trust. If they did it once, I think they could probably do it again, right?
Yeah. And then the last thing we're talking about was the last thing shown. The reason everyone woke up at 7 o'clock in the morning to watch it. This was Zelda Ocarina of Time. They're calling this... Actually, I don't think they actually even referred to it by title vocally in the Direct. I think they were like, we've got one last thing to show you. And then like the title screen comes up and that's it. But I don't know if they're calling it a remake, remaster. They did.
I think they're just calling it Ocarina of Time. I don't think that they're calling it anything.
Yeah, you're right.
Legend of Zelda Ocarina of Time.
There's not a subtitle on it. But
I'll
there
double
was
check, but I'm pretty
briefly,
sure.
if you Googled it, there was briefly a blurb that showed up in the Google search results on the Nintendo website explaining it as a full remake. So that's really interesting. So, full remake of Ocarina of Time with realistic looking graphics, which is I'm so interested to see how all of these enemies and environments look with these realistic graphics. Like, what the fuck do those giant pineapples that fly around Hyrule Field? Like, what do those look like in real life? What are they intended to represent instead of the blocky shit that they actually are? What are the enemies like Goma and Twinrova and all these amazing, iconic characters and enemies? Like, I can't wait to see what they look like in super realistic graphics.
Now, are you gonna be? We're gonna get to the weird spot where, oh, that was Rayman's hair all along. I had no idea. I didn't know that. That's crazy.
Link's hair did not look off-putting, which was good. But who knows how many other enemies have hair that you didn't think had hair?
That's definitely the big one, right? Especially coming out this year.
Yeah, 2026.
assuming.
What also was interesting to me is the way that they showed off the game was they're telling the story. They start telling the story of this young boy who didn't have a fairy, and they're telling. Normally, that was just like some text on the screen on the N64 version, but this is actually showing like a tapestry that shows the story of this, and it was narrated, presumably by the Deku Tree. Who knows, the Great Deku Tree? But it was narrated with voice acting, and I'm hoping that is an indication that even if Link maybe is not talking, I hope everyone else actually has voice acting in this game. I would fucking flip because I'm tired of walking up to people and them just being like, "Rah!" And then you see all the text written out. And it's like, I'm ready for people to start talking English words to me. And I'm
Or
so
some
excited.
people, at least. Because I'm trying to think, even Breath of the Wild and the other one that everyone thought was good.
Tales. Tears. Tears of the Kingdom.
Tears of the Kingdom. Do those have voice acting? Or do
Those
they have
do
narrated
have voice
moments?
acting. They have voice
every
acting in the
character voice acting?
cutscenes.
That's what I'm thinking of. Yeah.
Yeah.
But they're open world.
But-
You go up and they still like. "Roar."
Yeah, exactly.
Okay.
So yeah, 2026. I'm hoping that this comes out in November so that I have something to play when everyone else is playing GTA 6.
I mean, they could safely do it because people who are going to play GTA 6, that's what they're going to play it. And everyone who's a Nintendo fan who doesn't want to play GTA 6, it doesn't matter. Like, they do not eat each other's lunch, I don't think. Or not that much. Not as much as any other game would probably. I think those are far away. And we left it out of here, Chad. Yes, people. They showed off Kingdom Hearts 4.
Oh
Me
yeah,
and Chad
Kingdom
don't
Hearts
care.
4, whatever.
Cozy hasn't been heard from for 18 months. I think that man is no longer with us. So nobody's here to talk about Kingdom Hearts. Sorry,
If
I don't care.
anything that would have risen him, like brought him out of the grave. Kingdom Hearts 4, that announcement.
Yep,
Coming to
Sora with his
Switch 2
big
day
shoes.
and date, which is interesting.
That is good, though.
And all the Switch 1 versions of these games, the whole thing, which were normally cloud versions that you had to stream. Remember when Switch did that for a lot of games? You now have native versions of those coming over the however, I can't remember when they're coming out, but they've also delisted the cloud versions. So if you have a Switch 1, I think it's October 2027, you're no longer able to play those games, even if you bought them. So
That's an interesting
upgrade to
choice.
Switch 2.
Yeah, buy the new one and pay more money, or I don't care that you don't sell it anymore, but saying, hey, you can't play it anymore is also a weird move. But also, if you bought a cloud version of Kingdom Hearts, you deserve to get your money taken. You're dumb.
I think they
But
did
no,
announce
that's
that
great.
you'll get some. They didn't mention how much, but they did say you would get owners of the cloud versions would get a discount on the Switch 2 versions. But who knows how much that could be?
Yeah, we'll see. All right, very good. And that's all the things that we thought were interesting from Nintendo Direct last week. Let us know in the comments what you thought was cool. If it was Kingdom Hearts, sorry. Anyways, moving on.
And that brings us to our segment from Adam. It's our segment from Adam. It's a segment. That's the Corneria theme from Star Fox.
Oh, so that's Super Smash Brothers music. That's how I know
Yep.
it.
Yep.
Oh, baby. All right. What I've decided to do, here's the problem. Again, everyone, or if you're a new listener, we have a Google Doc of, running down the show, and we like to put in initials for stuff we're trying to keep secret. I hope ours don't match up, because I have no idea. I have no idea what you're doing. You know what I'm doing. That's cool.
Gaga.
My segment, what was this? Guessing Game Awards. That's what it was.
Oh, okay.
Guessing Game Awards. So we do this sometimes. It's the halfway point of the year. So it's like, oh, hey, what are we thinking about for game of the year so far? There's still a lot of stuff to come out, but we're just going to, we can look back and see like, hey, how do we feel? So what I've decided to do, I have a bunch of games that are rated highly on Metacritic, or things that are just, people really liked a lot, got a lot of traction, that sort of a thing. I have a list of games. And you're going to tell me, do you think it's a lock? I want to write these down here. Do you think it's a lock? Do you think it's a maybe, or do you think it's a hell no that it will be remembered in December at Jeff Keighley's Game Awards? And it doesn't
For
necessarily
consideration for game of the year, like GOTY, or just
I think we can point that out if we think this will be in that list of 6. But if we think it'll get any sort of consideration, major consideration, we could do it. Like, I'm not going to be able to guess who's going to get the audio, the 5 nominations for a best audio design. I'm not going to be able to do that. But if we're like, this game is good, I don't think it'll be in that 6, but I think it will definitely get something, then we can talk about it there. But again, just from the first half of the year, what do we think has a lock, a maybe, and a hell no for Jeff Keighley's Game Awards? I'm just going to go at the top of the list and start at number 1, because it's the highest rated game of the year, but it's also an indie game, so that makes it an interesting dichotomy. Mina the Hollower, you beat that game recently. Do you think that, again, we always had to think about, when you think about Game Awards, that there are voters, it's press and media, it's some really big content creators. Do you think by the end of the year, Mina the Hollower is going to be getting its flowers, either as a top 6? I'm going to go ahead and say it. I think it's definitely best indie game. I think it gets nominated in that category.
100%, that's a lock for best indie.
I don't know about the top 6, though, because that's always the question.
Think it will be. There were a lot of people who played it. There were a lot of, like, this game has gotten a ton of buzz over the last bajillion years as people are anticipating it, and where is it? And it keeps getting delayed. And it was not quite as big as Silksong in terms of, like, hype for it, but people were looking forward to this, and a lot of people played it. So I think it's going to be there in some capacity. Again, I think it's a lock for an indie game award, but probably not a Pody GOTY.
Okay. I'm going to kind of keep it on the indie train. I'm going to go to Titanium Court. If you remember Titanium Court, it was the game that's like a match 3 game that has like the pink and blue weird looking art style. Again, I have not played it. It seems to be a sicko game, but it was very well regarded. But was it well regarded enough to even really be mentioned at Jeff Keighley's Game Awards? I remember we talked about it at one point, and you looked at it and you're like, that looks crazy. But the people who played it like it. I don't know how many people played it.
Yeah, I think you're the only person I've ever heard talk about this game.
I'm not the only one. Bear Courtney
looking
loved
at it, it looks like it's a match 3 game, or something similar to that.
I think it's more than that, but it plays like a match 3, but it's definitely... I don't know.
As match 3. Yeah,
but that's the thing is, I'm not the one voting for it. The weird sickos who play these games are. I'm going to go ahead and say this one's a maybe.
I've never heard anyone talk about it, so I would go hell no, but...
You'd go hell no?
Perhaps a maybe.
We're going to...
If you feel strongly.
Because I'm just got to think what would be on the game of the... Here's what I want to do. I want to put in maybe with an asterisk, and then whenever we go through more of these games, if we're like, oh, there are like 3 more indies that are probably going to be better than that, we got to move it down to hell no. Because there's no way by the end of the year there are not more indies that would... Again, I'm looking at some of the best reviewed games of the year, but that's not always the game that we're playing when you come to Game Awards. Next up, we're going to move away from indie for the moment, but go to something that's very well regarded as far as IP goes. Pokemon Pokopia. Pokopia. Do you think that has a chance? I just want to say in the overall Game of the Year awards, but then just getting a nomination of consequence as well. Because at the beginning of the year, you would have convinced me this is the best game of the year, and now it's not as much.
I think this will get a best family game.
Oh yeah, that's always a good category.
Which is, I think, I think Animal Crossing New Horizons got that. Essentially, whatever Animal Crossing New Horizons got, it's got at least that.
Okay. So would you say it's a lock or maybe?
This game came out and surprised a ton of people. So, yeah. It's a lock in some capacity there.
Somewhere. Yeah, probably.
Yeah.
Because, again, at the beginning of the year, you would have convinced me that was the best game of the year. But... Yeah, I'm with you. I think that enough people
and the way that they're
remember.
continuing to support it with expansion packs every few months from now until who knows, like that's going to keep it in the conversation. Yeah,
the only things that suck is when things come out very early because then people forget. But I think that one is a big enough name that it shouldn't be as much an issue. Here's another game that came out very early in the year, reviewed well, but I'll see how you feel about Neo 3, which is an 86 on Metacritic.
Oh.
Another one of these.
This one's going to show up as like a filler, basically, for best action game. And I think that's the only nod it's going to get. Really? You don't think it makes it?
Nope. I think that there are better games that will be considered action. That will be, again, it's the thing that is this a Team Ninja game? Or is this, this is Team Ninja, who always make one game a year that is the same Souls-like game. This is a February game. Again, it didn't review bad. I was going to say hell no. I don't think anyone remembers it. I don't think anyone remembers it for action game.
To be honest, I didn't even remember it was this year. So
yeah, most people don't, Neo 3, hell no. Get out of here. Hell no, we won't go. And I'm still just on the first page. I think this one is this one's easy. So easy, it's not even fun to do. Forza Horizon 6. I mean, that's going to be an absolute. So we can just do that in a lock. By the way, the highest 2 rated games of the year are already out of the way. Next up, Resident Evil Reninquiem.
Oh, yeah. That's a lock for GOTY.
You do? You think so? You think that's in the top 6?
I think it's a lock for top 6 of, it's going to be in that top 6 of GOTY.
All right. Are you not worried? Again, not worried, but it's a very early game. It is beloved and everything, but when you think about by the time we get to the end of the year, you're not concerned about it slipping out because there's only 6 spots.
No, I think enough people played this game. Enough people were super into it, and a lot of people were saying it's their favorite Resident Evil. I think it's like one of the highest reviewed ones. It's sold the best of any Resident Evil game. So yeah, I think this is up there.
Next up, Pragmata, another Capcom game that people really liked that scored very well.
This one I think is a maybe, and if it shows up, I think it's going to be in the best action game kind of thing.
Again, Capcom has been on an absolute tear, but that also becomes not a problem. If you make a bunch of good games, they deserve to get noticed. But it's like, man, they just put out a lot of games. Are we going to put all these games in here? But I mean, I guess if they're good, you do. Next up, Mixtape. Shout out, by the way, I forgot to mention it. The Tier List, the video game podcast. I put out an episode this week that is the Mixtape with Claire and Kanisha from Date With Us podcast. So you can go listen to that. Mixtape. There, the D word was thrown around, the discourse around this game, but it's an indie game that people really like. I think it's a lock, at least for indie game of the year, if not. No, probably definitely. I think just indie game of the year.
I was thinking maybe it will be, but no, you're right. It's a lock for somewhere. Even if it's like best soundtrack or something like that. That's
what I'm trying to think, like audio design, soundtrack, or whatever. But I don't. As much as I do enjoy Mixtape, I don't think by the time we get to the end of the year, that's in the top 6. That's just hard for, again, the people voting like that game. But I think there's enough around you don't really play it very much. And I think there could be enough of that. Be like, well, I'd rather put an action heavy game in there instead of that. So, but yeah, I think it'll be there for sure. Speaking of things that Adam played recently, 007 First Light.
That's a lock.
Where do you think this ends up, though?
I was going to say I don't think this ends up in the top, but I feel like this game is an Indiana Jones and the Great Circle kind of game, where it's like the discourse around it is like a solid 8, maybe 8.5 from a lot of outlets, and people generally like it, and you don't think of that as like a Game of the Year contender, but then Indiana Jones did end up in that top 6, I think, for GOTY. So this definitely is a lock for something. Maybe even GOTY.
I think definitely BAFTAs for sure, because is IO? No, they're not British. It doesn't matter. It's a British character. British people love giving those. But yeah, I'm with you. By the way, that game's an 87 on Metacritic. Another game that's an 87, Saros. See, it starts to get hard because all of these games cannot be in the top 6.
Yeah.
I can see Saros being it, like we were talking about earlier about action game. I think Saros gets in as like action or action adventure. I don't think that makes the top 6 though.
I don't think it's GOTY, no. That's one that just like enough people didn't play it.
Just enough people. Yeah. And man, I'm still just on the first page going through games, and that's how crazy a year that we've already had. I'm going to go ahead and click over to the next page, though, because there are still plenty of good things on here that I think they can get noticed, but just to have more interesting conversations. Zero Parade for Dead Spies. This was the game from the studio who made... what's the name of that game that people like a lot? that I like a lot, where your emotions talk to you in your head. And they had problems recently with the studio, and a lot of people left. It was at Game Awards, and people really liked it, and it got voice acting. Chad, help me, please, for the love of God.
I don't know. Oh, Disco Elysium?
Disco Elysium. This is from the studio who made Disco Elysium. Again, a lot of those people have left, and there's going back and forth. But Zero Parade is a follow-up game from that studio who made that game. It's an 83 on Metacritic. What do you think about this one?
I'm going maybe.
Okay.
Yeah, this might show up in indie game, but it also, I mean, it has a terrible
or maybe
name.
Best Narrative or something like that. I don't know. Here's the thing, though. You would think a follow-up from a game like Disco Elysium, which got so much love, would have more hype around it. Like, I'm sure, yes, people played that game.
Yeah.
But I don't really, honestly, I don't know a single personal person who really got into that game. So it's just what it is. I'm gonna give us two more, Chad, just to see how we're feeling. Marathon.
Oh God. I don't know if this is, I think, a maybe. I don't think it's gonna be there, but if it does, it might show up in like best ongoing game or best, like one of those ambiguous categories. Like best, what is it, like supported live service game or something like that?
No,
like
yeah,
maybe,
whatever the categories are. Yeah.
Yeah, it's going to show up as a nomination in that, maybe.
What are your feelings on Marathon now, by the way, for what it's worth? Because I know you bought it. I know you played it for a little bit. Are you just completely done with it, though?
So here's the fun thing. I didn't buy it.
Oh, you didn't?
I played the beta, like the free beta weekend.
Yeah, we
the
both
week
did.
before it came out. Yeah. And then it came out and I didn't buy it. Joel and Audrey and Jerica played a bunch of it. And then 2 weeks ago, they had a free, it was right the week of the Sony State of Play.
Yeah,
they had a free week.
Yeah.
And in that free week, you could go and there was like a thing in the PlayStation Store where the deluxe edition, if you added the demo or the free week to your cart, and then went to the deluxe edition, it was only $15 for the deluxe edition.
They didn't revoke that when people did that?
So here's the thing. That actually was supposed to grant you the digital deluxe edition bonuses. Like that's the way to upgrade from the standard edition to the other one. But the language wasn't clear enough on the page. And then that came out, and everyone who Wario64 tweeted, "Hey, if you were one of these people who got it for $15, it looks like you'll have to go request a refund because this is what it actually was that you bought." And then Bungie came out, and so I went and requested a refund immediately. I was like, "Fuck! I thought I had this game for $15, but I don't." And then, like 2 hours later, Bungie tweeted out, "Listen, we've changed the store listing so it actually says more explicitly what this is, but we will be honoring the $15 price point for anyone who bought it." And I was like, "Fuck!" Right after. So anyway, yeah. Long story short, I didn't buy it, and then I bought it, and then I refunded it, even though I could have kept it for $15, but I just didn't know.
Yeah, you didn't know. That's very fun. All right, I'm going to go for one more. And again, remember earlier when we were talking about Titanium Court, which, yes, people like it and everything. There's a game that's rated lower, but I think might have more love. So, again, this is where those indie categories can get tough. Vampire Crawlers, the roguelike card battler from the Vampire Crawlers or Vampire Survivors people, very well liked, rated lower than Titanium Court. But I think a lot more people wouldn't. I also don't know. If, this one's probably also a maybe for me. Just I don't know what the category looks like. But I think this over Titanium Court just based on popularity, not based on quality.
Right. Yep, I agree. Maybe.
So do we want to now push down Titanium Court to hell no? Or do you want to keep
get
it?
Titanium Court off this fucking list of maybes.
Wow, that's crazy. That was disrespectful. See, that's just, and again, we're only halfway through. The real thing we're avoiding is that fucking GTA 6 is going to come out and fucking kick every game that you think down off of a list that you thought was going to be on a list. Or, you know, number of games that come out in September. There's 70 games in September, I'm sure, that will just absolutely dominate this list. We'll see. So what we decided was a lock for Game Awards for Jeff Keighley in this wintertime. Mina the Hollower, Pacopia, Forza Horizon 6. It's not supposed to be a 5. I'm an idiot. Resident Evil Reninquium, Mixtape, 007 First Slice, and Soros as locks in some sort of category. Maybes are Pragmata, Zero Parade for Dead Spies, Marathon, and Vampire Crawlers. And a hell no is Neo 3 and Titanium Court, just because not enough people are going to vote for them.
Yep.
We'll see. We still have a couple months to go, man. There's a lot of games that come out. I would not be shocked if half the games on this list don't make it at all. Straight up. But we'll see. All right,
Got
very
a lot
good.
of good shit announced for this fall.
Yeah, there we go.
That brings us to Game On Game Show. The Game On Gaming Show, we play a game called Game On, the Gaming Show on our Game Show. Game. Got round 2, the second take. Another chance at Smush Mush. So we played a couple weeks ago PlayStation Smush Mush. Now we're playing Summer Game Fest Smush Mush. This
Smush Mush.
this is the game that was inspired by like a throwaway comment that Andy Cortez made on Kind of Funny about what if they had PlayStation themed food at the Alamo Draft House for the Sony State to play. And I was like, ooh, that's an interesting game. I got so excited about 2 weeks ago that game and all the clever things that I was able to come up with. But they were too hard, and the clues weren't. You all struggled to get a lot of them. So I've got 5 here, and I've narrowed down kind of the possibilities a little bit. Then they're more recent, and they've made the clues a little bit easier. So I've got 5 things here that were all part of Jeff Keighley's Summer Game Fest presentations. They were things that had some kind of presence in that 2-hour presentation of Summer Game Fest.
Okay.
And yeah, we'll just start. So that narrows down the field for you. We'll just start here with this first one. Play as a warm, maple-covered Belgian baddie who's desperate to blow your house down.
Oh, let's see. Okay, I know the game. Oh, maple-covered Belgian baddie.
Oh, and I didn't explain this. You're taking food and mashing it up with a video game name to
Yeah.
make a clever portmanteau of those names. Yeah,
So
plays a warm, maple-covered Belgian baddie who's desperate to blow your house down.
Waffle Among Us 2.
That is the Waffle Among Us 2, yes.
Okay.
For the Wolf Among Us 2 that is coming out from Telltale. Well, yeah, it's still called Telltale, right?
Yeah, it's a new studio called Telltale. Yep.
All right, here's this one. Don't you want to finish this iconic trilogy with a refreshing fizzy fruit drink?
Final Fantasy Part 3,
Go
yeah.
on.
Final Fantasy Revelations? Final Fantasy
Final
7
Fantasy
Revelations.
7 Revelation. Yes.
I keep wanting to call it
Yeah.
Final Fantasy 7-3, and I know that's not the correct thing, but in my mind, that's what it always is.
All right. Number 3. Sneak or brawl, your choice, as a hot dog's German older brother as you take down and take out a terrorist mercenary group.
Ooh. I know.
Sneak or brawl, your choice, as a hot dog's German older brother as you take down a terrorist mercenary group.
I'm trying to think of the game, Chad. I know the food. Sneak or brawl? That's the question. A terrorist group. I'm trying to think also what was shown at SGF. I want to think. You can tell me if I'm right or wrong. It doesn't matter. There's no one here to, can't argue with Joel. I want to think it's that Crossfire game because obviously, like, you're soldiers and they want you to use stealth in that game and you fight terrorists.
I'll give you a hint.
But that doesn't work in the bratwurst at all. So I don't.
I'll give you a hint. This is a game that has already released, but that something new was announced for it at Summer Game Fest.
It's a game that already released recently, or is it an older game?
It is a recently released game. Sneak or brawl, your choice, as a hot dog's German older brother as you take down a terrorist mercenary group.
See, now I just can't. What came out recently that was shown at Game Awards? You're gonna have to help me on the game, dude. I cannot think of what the game would be. Maybe tell me the developer.
It is a game that we just recently compared to Indiana Jones and the Great Circle.
Okay. Now, how would that work? 007. Just like, how does First Light and Bratwurst sound alike? I don't know if they do. First.
Same again?
First Light Bratwurst. I don't know. 007. I know it's First Light. I know it's a Bratwurst.
You got the right words in food. It's 007 Worst Light.
Oh, Worst Light. Oh, yeah. That's right. Yeah. They call them Worst. They don't do their Bratwurst.
Wurst.
Yeah, Wurst. I would like the First Light, please. Oh,
right,
Indiana.
This next one might be a little bit tough, but we'll see if you can get it. Wield witchcraft to uncover demonic entities hiding in this third-person action game set 360 years ago in this European city with a porky twist.
Amsterdam, 1666.
Yes, Amsterdam will work. I would have also accepted Hamsterdam.
Both of them. Yeah, I like that. Yep.
Amsterdam,
Amsterdam. I like it.
Work together, escape the labyrinth, and survive the judge's deadly mayo-based salad in this licensed game.
One more time.
Work together, escape the labyrinth, and survive the judge's deadly mayo-based salad in this licensed game.
Coleslaw.
You're on the right trail.
Oh, it's not coleslaw, huh? Is it not? Well, I don't know what else would it be. Well, you said mayo-based salad.
What was the game name?
I said saw. I get coleslaw Genesis.
I'll take it. It was Slaw Genesis. Because the game is called Saw Genesis, so Coleslaw, Slaw Genesis.
Yeah, no, I said coleslaw.
I know. You got the food and you got the name-ish. So,
yeah, I think mine was better.
I'm just saying, in the South, we call it slaw sometimes.
Oh, yeah, that's true.
You want slaw on the side? You want slaw on that sandwich?
Oh, here's the thing. I never got slaw on anything because it's fucking gross.
Yeah, it's nasty. It's disgusting.
I don't care what they call it anywhere.
Two
I don't want
awful foods smushed together. No,
I don't like if you make a quote unquote salad and it's cold food with mayonnaise keeping it together. Fuck off. I don't want macaroni salad. I don't want fucking any of that bullshit.
Potato salad, egg salad. You're all liars. That's not salad. That's nasty mayo slop.
Give me some lettuce and some fucking balsamic vinaigrette. I'm good to go. I don't want that other bullshit. Or just give me mayonnaise on a sandwich. I don't want cold shit with mayonnaise holding it together in a bowl. That's nasty. I don't want it.
Yeah, gross. All right. Okay, so that seemed to work a little bit better. They were still tough, but they were achievable.
I don't have Joel jumping down my back taking all the answers. It works a lot better.
All right, that's it for Game on Game Show. That's also it for episode 437 of Respawn Aim Fire. And you've got some homework, everyone. Your homework is to go to patreon.com/respawnaimfire and in a week or so, vote for what you want our next barf game to be for the month of July. That poll will be up in a weekish. Go there to get the link to the exclusive access of Joel telling you how to sell Pokemon cards at card shows. And then, what else? Oh, play Halo Infinite, which is our barf game for June. Again, the multiplayer version, which is free to play and free to access on Xbox. So,
and PC, I believe, right?
And PC. Oh, yeah, and PC. And that's it. Thank you, everybody, so much for listening. Until next time, here's our usual sign off. Go tell Joe his birthday is today. Say happy birthday. Bye, Joe.
Where, Knuckles?